Mr. Speaker, thank you. I am of the view that due to the exigencies of time, Mr. Speaker, on our behalf, a form can be issued by you after the statement by Senator Faki to the family of the late Kajembe, Mr. Speaker, so that you can accommodate the views of other members and other members here who have worked with this good gentleman. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, Senator Faki. Oh, you're from outside. What's your point of order? Let's avoid, like I said, these groupings and social distancing, please.
Mr. Speaker, I'd requested to raise a point of order on the statements. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the order paper, there are 20 statements. And out of the 20 statements, 15 are raised under Standing Order 48.1. These 15 statements discuss issues that are urgent. I have a statement that's talking about a strike by health workers in Homa Bay County. And it has been pending since last week. Mr. Speaker, because statements under 48.1, by the time they come to the order paper, the Speaker has reviewed, the Speaker has approved, and the Speaker has decided which committee it shall be referred to. May I request, Mr. Speaker, just to ensure that these matters are dealt with the urgency that they deserve, that these 15 statements under 48.1, you refer them to the relevant committees. Because reading the statement on the floor of this House is just a formality. And if we go by past trends, Mr. Speaker, those 15 statements can take this House close to 3 hours. May I request, Mr. Speaker, if not all the 15, but my statement on the state of healthcare in Homa Bay County be immediately referred to the Health Committee so that they can start looking for a solution to the issues that have been raised therein.
That's okay. I think I'll do that. I will refer, as we continue, I'll look at those that need to go to committees and refer them to the committees to work on them. Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kutuma rambirambi zangu na za familia na za watu wa Mombasa.
Order, senators. Senator Whip, Senator Wamatangi. Please, I am pleading with you, let us take COVID seriously. These groupings and movements around, please. Okay. What's your point of order, Senator Wetangula?
Mr. Speaker, increasingly I've been hearing the chair pleading with members. There's no provision in the standing orders for the Speaker to plead. The Speaker directs, rules, and orders. So if there is any breach of the standing orders, Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage you and urge you to order and direct rather than plead, because every time you plead, people just think it's a child's game.
Okay. What's your point of order, Senator Kangata?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I seek your indulgence that your rules concerning social distancing be given a little bit of exemption to whips because they need to go around to talking to members.
No.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Speaker.
out of order. No. No exemptions. Senator Faki, continue. Senator Kirinyaga, what's your point of order?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The other day, we left this house at 9 p.m., Mr. Speaker. We broke the law as it stands. Mr. Speaker, if we start these side shows, which Senator Kanili has drawn your attention, Mr. Speaker, I think we are likely to be here longer. And as Senator Kanili said, and we all know, this country is in suspense. It is in an emotional state. They are waiting for a decision from this House. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would beseech you, I know you have a kind heart, I know your heart is wide, but Mr. Speaker, for now, narrow your heart to one item, discussing and concluding this matter today.
Senator Faki. In fact, I only gave Faki, the more we talk, the more time we are consuming.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kutuma rambirambi zangu pamoja na familia yangu na watu wa Mombasa kwa familia, marafiki na ndugu wa mwenda zake marehemu Ramadhan Seif Kajembe. Mheshimiwa Spika, Ramadhan Seif Kajembe alizaliwa takriban miaka 76 iliyopita katika mji wa Mombasa, ambapo baadaye aliajiriwa na shirika la Kenya Cargo Handling Services, ambapo alihudumu mpaka miaka ya 70, ambapo alichaguliwa kama diwani katika wodi ya Jomvu Kuu, wodi ya Mikindani katika baraza la mji wa Mombasa. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Kajembe alihudumu kama diwani kwa muda wa miaka 15. Baadaye mwaka 1997 alichaguliwa kwa mara ya kwanza kama mbunge wa bunge wa eneo bunge la Changamwe katika mji wa Mombasa. Mheshimiwa Spika, mwenda zake Kajembe alihudumu kama mbunge kwa muda wa miaka 15 pia mpaka mwaka 2013 ambapo alistaafu siasa na akawa anahudumu kama mwenyekiti wa bodi ya halmashauri ya Kenya Ferry Services. Mheshimiwa Spika, Ramadhan Seif Kajembe alikuwa ni mtetezi wa wafanyakazi katika bandari ya Mombasa, na vile vile pia alihudumu kama mwenyekiti wa chama cha ODM ambacho ndio chama kinilileta bungeni mwaka 2017. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Kajembe pia aliweza kuchangia pakubwa maendeleo katika mji wa Mombasa na vile vile katika eneo bunge la Changamwe, ambako amewahi kujenga shule nyingi, na vile vile mpaka sasa ameweza kujenga shule inaitwa Kajembe Secondary School ambao alianzisha mwenyewe binafsi, baadaye ikachukuliwa na CDF ya eneo bunge la Changamwe. Mheshimiwa Spika, marehemu Kajembe alipata ugonjwa wiki 2 zilizokwisha, na Ijumaa tarehe 7 mwezi wa 8 mwaka 2020 alipoteza maisha yake jioni wakati alipokuwa anahudumiwa katika Pandya Hospital. Mheshimiwa Spika, Kajembe ameweza kusaidia pakubwa kisiasa kuweza kuwajenga wanasiasa chipukizi wengi, akiwemo Mheshimiwa Badi ambaye anahudumu katika eneo bunge la Jomvu ambako ndiko Mheshimiwa Kajembe asili yake alikotoka. Mheshimiwa Spika, marehemu Kajembe pia aliweza kuchangia pakubwa elimu katika eneo bunge la Changamwe na Mombasa kwa jumla, na vile vile pia alihakikisha kwamba watu wanapata elimu. Na awali nilipokuwa nazungumza na Mheshimiwa Senator Awako, alisema kwamba wakati wanasafiri kutoka Geneva kuja Nairobi alimuonesha ari kubwa ya kutaka kusoma, japokuwa alikuwa tayari ni mbunge na anahudumu katika bunge. Mheshimiwa Kajembe, Mheshimiwa Spika, pia alihudumu kama waziri mdogo katika wizara ya mazingira na mali asili chini ya mwenda zake Michuki, na vile vile pia alikuwa kwa wakati fulani ni mwenyekiti wa kamati ya usalama katika bunge la kitaifa. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama watu wa Mombasa na watu wa Jomvu na vile vile Changamwe kwa jumla, na vile vile pia Senator Wetangula amenieleza pia kwamba marehemu Kajembe alikuwa mteja wake na alimwakilisha katika kesi ya petition 1993 ambapo Kajembe alikuwa ana challenge ama anapinga uamuzi wa kuchaguliwa marehemu Kiliku kama mbunge wa Changamwe. Katika kesi hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nilikuwa ni mtetezi wa 3 katika kesi hiyo, na namwambia Senator Wetangula pia kwamba alinidhulumu haki zangu wakati huo. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunasema kwamba tuomboleza kifo cha Ramadhan Seif Kajembe kwa sababu ni kiongozi ambaye alikuwa na tajiriba kubwa. Ni kiongozi ambaye hakuogopa kutetea haki za watu wake. Ni kiongozi ambaye alitetea wafanyakazi na baadaye akatetea wananchi kwa jumla katika eneo la Changamwe. Sisi kama watu wa Mombasa, sisi kama watu wa Jomvu constituency na vile vile pia Changamwe, tumepata msiba mkubwa na tumepoteza kiongozi ambaye tulikuwa tunamtegemea kwa mambo ambayo yalikuwa yanatufika katika eneo la Changamwe na Mombasa kwa jumla. Tuomba Mwenyezi Mungu ailaze roho yake mahala pema peponi. Amin.
Senator Orengo, what's your intervention?
Mr. Speaker, allow me just 2 minutes to talk about my brother, Ramadan Seif Kajembe. Is one of the politicians in the coast who are truly colorful. In the coast, we have the history of very colorful politicians. They come and go, but increasingly you get those type of politicians who make a difference in the politics of the Republic of Kenya. And Honorable Kajembe, he was really a pillar in the politics of the coast. And many times I've been in many meetings deciding on how to handle politics in the coast, particularly because, you know, the coast is really cosmopolitan. And beside being that colorful politician and quite principled politician, because within the ODM family, he was really at the core of our activities in the coast. In fact, our strength in the coast as a party, as the Orange Democratic Movement, has been because of people like Ramadan Seif Kajembe. And as my London friend, Honorable Faki, has talked about him and his representation in the Jomvu and Changamwe constituencies, his work in the public service, his being a minister in the Ministry of Environment, and working with former presidents Moi, Kibaki, and now Uhuru Kenyatta, I think is somebody that would have been mourned in a bigger way, why not for this pandemic of COVID. Now, within the Orange Democratic Movement, he was in the executive committee of the Orange Democratic Movement, and many times I visited his home. I've shared grief and happiness with him in times past and of late. I think the last time I had an engagement with him is when he lost one of his family members. I would want, Mr. Speaker, to register my condolence to the people of the coast and to the family, and to tell them that the coast is a pillar of our politics in this nation. And Seif Kajembe put those politics of the coast to the center of the politics of the nation. May the Lord rest his soul in peace.
So in the interest of time, I think I just want to give the leader, I know quite a number of you worked with him, but you know there's a lot of anxiety about the, let we get to the main, Senator Bogisho.
Speaker, let me, on behalf of the majority side, on my own behalf and that of my family, take this opportunity to wish my colleague, my departed colleague, Honorable Kajembe, and his family and friends, wish them, pass to them our condolences as colleagues. The Speaker, always a retired politician, but one with a strong, strong spirit. And when he was with us in the other house, we worked very well with Ramadan Seif Kajembe. And I just want to take this opportunity to wish the family well, and that may God rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you, Speaker.
Use that opportunity also to communicate your the statement, so that then we move to the motion.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 52.1, I hereby present to the Senate the business of the House for Tuesday, 8th September 2020. 8th September 2020, I'm correct. Pursuant to the Senate calendar passed on the 27th February 2020 as amended by resolution made on the 17th March, 14th April 2nd, June, and 4th August 2020 respectively, the Senate is scheduled to proceed on recess at the rise of the Senate today, 11th August 2020, until Tuesday, 8th September 2020. On Tuesday, 8th September 2020, the Senate Business Committee will meet to schedule the business of the Senate. The Senate will consider bills scheduled for second reading and those at the committee stage of the whole House, and will continue with consideration of business that will not be concluded in today's order paper, including motions, petitions, and statements. The Speaker, sir, a total of 20 bills are still due for second reading, and a further 17 bills are at the committee stage of the committee of the whole stage. Legislative proposals which are under development by individual senators and standing committees will certainly increase the number of bills in the Senate and the workload before us on their publication. The Senate Business Committee will continue to prioritize these bills accordingly, and in this respect, I urge the relevant movers to be available in the Senate when they are scheduled, and the respective standing committees to use the opportunity during the coming recess to conclude considerations of these bills and table reports pursuant to the standing orders. Likewise, I urge standing committees also to conclude consideration of petitions and statements referred to them and table reports pursuant to the standing orders. 35 bills, Mr. Speaker, have been passed by the Senate and referred to the National Assembly for consideration. These bills are still pending in the National Assembly, some of which were passed during the first two sessions of the term of the Senate. Through the Senate Business Committee, the Senate leadership will pursue this matter with the new leadership of the National Assembly, with a view to having them prioritized in the National Assembly and referred back to the Senate with or without amendments. It is important for the Senate to note that of the 25 bills referred to the Senate by the National Assembly, only 9 bills are pending consideration. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as we resume debate on the third basis of revenue allocation among county governments, I continue to urge that we proceed with patience, understanding, and objectivity. A speedy resolution on this matter will then pave way for consideration of the county allocation of revenue bill. Mr. Speaker, I thank you, and hereby lay the statement on the table of the House. Thank you.
Okay, next order.
Order number 8, motion, approval of the third basis for revenue allocation among the county governments.
Okay, Honorable Senators, it's resumption of debate, and Senator Mwaura had 18 minutes to go. Senator Mwaura, proceed. What's your point of order, Senator Linturi?
Mr. Speaker, rise on a point of order to propose an amendment to Sakaja's
No, not now, out of order. Not now. Let's be a bit neat in what we are doing. We are still discussing Sakaja's amendment, please. So let Mwaura continue because it's resumption of debate. Yeah. Okay. Senators, Mwaura, continue.
Am I supposed to raise my amendment to Sakaja's amendment?
It's on the order paper. Okay. Just approach. It's on the order paper. Senator Mwaura. What's your point of order, Senator Cheriot?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At any point in the rules on procedures of our debate, when a matter is alive before the House, amendments are allowed. I would understand the reason why you'd want us to proceed in that way, but maybe for the comfort of the whole House, it will be good if you gave guidance at what time Senator Linturi will be allowed to move his amendment, especially in light of the fact that his is a further amendment to the proposal by Senator Sakaja, and it appears to be having the consensus of most of the members. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it will be good if you granted us direction. Sorry,
Order, senators. I think for order. Yeah, okay. Order, senators. I want to propose that Senator Mwaura continues. In the meantime, I will give guidance on at what point the amendment will come on. So, Senator Mwaura.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I'd said 2 Tuesdays ago, I rise to oppose this motion. Mr. Speaker, the amendment motion is amendment motion. Kindly allow me to prosecute my case. Mr. Speaker, if you look at this country, it is true that we have inherited a colonial state that actually is extractive in nature, and the first extraction was to the Crown in London. And when you look now to where we are today, you will see that the same arguments that were in 1963-65 are prevailing between a central government and devolution, and between the people and landmass. Mr. Speaker, if you refer to the 1965 session of paper number 10 on African socialism and its application in the planning of Kenya, you will clearly see a contestation between a country that wanted to concentrate its resources so as to galvanize the country, and the failure of Majimbo, and the advice that was given to KADU through its lawyer, who was actually hired from Switzerland, where they have cantons. Cantons that are divided, 7 of them, and which produce a rotating president every year for 7 years. And coming back to this same idea of a session of paper, it is very interesting to note that there was also another session of paper in 2012 that was actually put in place ostensibly, Mr. Speaker, to slow down the horse for the donkey to catch up. And this session of paper, championed by Waziri Muhammad Elmi, is not actually being flagged out as a key determinant of the current second generation formula that actually has caused an illegality and injustice to many Kenyans who deserve to be properly resourced in terms of the monies that are going to counties. And why am I saying so? If you look at the Sakaja amendment, it seeks to freeze the population of this country to the 2009 census. And Mr. Speaker, I beg to disagree, because we have new data in 2019. And I want to give an example. In the county of Mandera, there were, the 2019 census has demonstrated that the population reduced by 15%, Mr. Speaker. And when you look at that, in the 2009 census, the same population had more males than females within the same variance. And yet, the norm is there are slightly more females than males. If you combine the population of Wajir, Mandera, and Garissa, you get a total population of 2,490,000 people. And you compare the same to the population of Kiambu, we have 2,417,735 persons. Now, the cumulative allocation of those 3 counties is a record 25 billion, Mr. Speaker. And yet, the allocation for Kiambu County is 9.4 billion with actually a wage bill of 8 billion, Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order?
Is that really fair?
What's your point of order,
a county
Senator?
with the same number of people gets 16 billion.
Order. There is a point of intervention from Senator Mazayo.
Asante Bwana Spika. Hoja yangu ya nidhamu, hivi sasa tunaongea mambo ya ugavi wa pesa zinazokwenda katika county. Ndugu yangu Mwaura ambaye namheshimu sana anasema sasa watu wa Mandera waume ni wengi, wanawake kidogo. Anasema watu wa Mandera maeneo yao ni pakubwa, hawana watu. Yeye aongee vile anavyotaka kupinga ile hoja ya ugavi wa pesa ambao umeletwa na ndugu yetu Sakaja, kuliko kutupeleka katika njia nyingi 2, 3, 4, 5 za kusema wengine wanazaa zaidi, wengine hawazai zaidi. Hasa akisema kwamba watu wa Kiambu wanazaa wanawake wengi, wanaume ni kidogo, inamaanisha nini katika ile hoja yake anatuletea hapa? Nafikiria Bwana Spika, ingekuwa vyema uweze kumwambia atulie katika kile kitengo ambacho anataka kusema, badala ya kusema kwamba wakina mama wa kutoka Mandera ama sehemu zozote atakazotaka kuzitaja. Ni makosa sana kuambia kwamba mama zetu hawazai waume, wanazaa wanawake, ama wanazaa waume wengi na wanawake hawazaliwi.
Wakati Senator Mwaura uchunga usiende kwa details zingine ambazo zinaweza kuleta taharuki.
Mheshimiwa Spika, na niwie radhi lakini lazima niseme ukweli uliopo, kwa sababu kila mama ana uwezo wa kupata mtoto na watu wa Kiambu ni wengi. Kwa hivyo lazima niongee kuhusu takwimu ambazo ni rasmi, sio mambo ya kufikiria, na sidhani Mheshimiwa Spika hiyo ilikuwa hoja ya nidhamu, hiyo ilikuwa kuchanga. Na ninakuomba Mheshimiwa Spika, tafadhali uweze kunikinga kutokana na hoja zisizo za nidhamu za rafiki yangu Mheshimiwa Mwazayo. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, niseme pia kuna watu ambao wanafikiri kwamba wao lazima wazungumze, wengine wasizungumze. Nitazungumza. Mheshimiwa Speaker, let me go back.
You started in English, so we go back.
Yeah, let me proceed. I was just using Kiswahili because we know it also. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the county of Kilifi, there are 1.4 million people with a current allocation of 10 billion against my county of Kiambu with 2.4 million people getting 9 billion. And Mr. Speaker, this is the injustice that we are talking about when it comes to debating about the revenue formula. Mr. Speaker, there has been an argument, Mr. Speaker, that the formula so proposed by the committee on which my good brother, Senator Sakaja wants to amend.
What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am baffled by your directives in this House. You've directed that we comply with the Ministry of Health guidelines on this COVID pandemic. My dear brother, you can be emotive as you want, but we must protect other people who are here. When you speak without a mask, you're on the dispatch, which is what our dear colleagues from the other chambers will be using, is putting their life at risk. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would really plead with you that we focus, and then we remain relevant on the issues. There's no point of being emotive on this matter. Let's follow the Ministry of Health guidelines, and let's not also point at our colleagues from Kilifi when he just spoke, and then our dear brother goes directly. There's no point of trying to antagonize each other. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, order. I'm directing that if you'll speak without a mask, I will order you to sit down. I can see a point of order from Senator Mohamud.
Mr. Speaker, sir, is my good friend, Senator Mwaura, in order to be talking about Kiambu, Kilifi, Mandera, while actually he represents special interest he does not represent Kiambu.
Okay, Senator Mwaura.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is the most frivolous point of statement that has come from my former chairman, because I am in the Kiambu delegation. I am born and bred in Kiambu. I represent the people of Kiambu here. I vote for them many occasions. And even in Kiambu County, Mr. Speaker, there are so many people with disabilities. And so therefore, I will not allow to be pigeonholed because of this debate. Mr. Speaker, let me proceed.
Order, senators. Order, senators. Order, senators. I want to ask you, let us debate soberly. Those who watch media saw the Senate being discussed last week about being rowdy and saying we are degenerating. Please, let's not get there. Let us debate soberly. I know this is an emotive matter, but let us maintain our cool.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me proceed. So, as I was saying, it is actually true. One way you get Marsabit getting another 800 million, and Mandera getting about 2.3 billion.
Senator Kinyua, what's your point of order? Let's observe social distancing, Senator Malala. Senator Cheriot.
Asante sana Bwana Spika. Hoja yangu ya nidhamu ni kusema ya kwamba nimemsikiza ndugu yangu Stewart Mazayo akisema ya kwamba seneta wa Kiambu Mwaura anakosea, lakini anaposema idadi ya watu yeye analinganisha. Anasema idadi analinganisha watu wa Kiambu na watu wa Mandera. Hakuna makosa yoyote anafanya Bwana Spika, kwa sababu huduma inapatiwa mwananchi, binadamu Bwana Spika. Haipatiwi ukubwa wa msitu, haipatiwi ukubwa wa chote Bwana Spika. Ukweli usemo Bwana Spika, kwa sababu haya maneno Mwaura anasema ukweli na ukweli usemwe Bwana Spika. Kwa sababu Bwana Spika, ni kusema ya kwamba alipokuwa akiongea Mwaura alikuwa akilinganisha na hizi kaunti ziko katika nchi ya Kenya. Spika Mwaura ni seneta wa nchi ya Kenya. Ana uhuru wa kusema ikiwa ni kaunti ya Laikipia, kaunti ya Kiambu, na haya maneno yote anasema iko katika idadi vile watu walivyohesabiwa. Ni katika idadi ya vile watu walivyohesabiwa. Ikiwa watu ni wachache, waambiwe ni wachache Bwana Spika. Na huo ni ukweli Bwana Spika.
Hoja yako ya nidhamu ni gani?
Ni hajafanya makosa yoyote kulinganisha Kiambu na Mandera Bwana Spika. Okay. Haya ndio maneno Bwana Spika.
Okay, asante. Senator Wario, what's your point of order?
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia fursa hii. Mheshimiwa Spika, nimesimama hapa kideti kama milingoti kuleta hoja ya nidhamu ambayo, na hoja yangu ya nidhamu ninaelekeza kwa rafiki yangu Seneta Mwaura. Seneta Mwaura amelinganisha kaunti ya Garissa, Wajir na kaunti ya Mandera na ile kaunti yeye anatoka, akisema ya kwamba kaunti hizo hazina watu, kwa hivyo rasilimali kidogo iende pande hiyo. Bwana Spika, je, mimi nauliza nyumba, Mwaura yuko katika taratibu gani wakati anasema jimbo hizo zote hazina watu na hazisiende pesa? Na sisi vile tunavyojua, jimbo ya Kiambu kitoka dunia ya Kenya ianze, viongozi wametoka pande hiyo na Kiambu inaendelea kujengwa. Pesa mingi inaenda Kiambu. Na sisi tulileta mambo ya ugatuzi na pesa ya equalization fund ilipelekwa ili kaunti hizi za Mandera, Wajir na Garissa ili ipate kujengwa. Sasa kuna makosa gani watu ya Garissa, watu ya Mandera, watu ya Tana River na upande hiyo? Kwa hivyo hoja yangu ni nidhamu ni ya kwamba hayuko katika utaratibu yoyote, kwa sababu pesa zinaenda kujenga sehemu ambazo hazijawahi kuendelea. Na tunaelewa ya kwamba Kiambu tayari imeendelea. Wacha pesa kidogo iende huko na pesa mingi iende pande ya Garissa. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Those I'll be giving, who want to stand on points of order, be careful not to debate. Just a leader of majority.
Speaker, just to help up with that matter, Speaker, I think once a point of order goes beyond 1 minute or 2 minutes, it's no longer a point of order. The Speaker, a point of order should be in a question form. Is so and so in order to do such and such? But if it is not there, Mr. Speaker, there's no need for that person to proceed. Because we are trying to find out what is out of order in the House. And so, Mr. Speaker, I just ask that we really ask people to not to use the pretext of points of order to debate or to argue. Thank you, Speaker.
Okay, Senator Mwaura, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, those are points of arguments. They are not points of orders. And I'm very glad because my good friend, Senator Wario, has just confirmed what I have been saying, that the whole idea of the second generation formula was to punish certain counties because of their population, ostensibly because they have produced presidents and they are developed. Senator Wario, I would want to invite you to come with me to Kiambu County. And you see the kind of squalor and poverty where land has been divided to the point that it is not viable anymore. When you see people, like where I come from in Ruiru constituency, with a population of 490,120 people, getting the same CDF as you, yet actually our one constituency has more people than even some counties. So that even when you are getting bursary, you only get 2,000 when your counties are giving over 100,000 or 30,000. This is the inequality that we are talking about. And we cannot engage, Mr. Speaker, in some form of tortuous, convoluted, retributive justice, where you want to cure one form of marginalization by creating another. I don't believe in that Kenya. I believe in a Kenya that is fair, that says, yes, there could be some historical injustices, but they can be cured through the proper operationalization of Article 204 under the Equalization Fund. I believe in a Kenya where there is equality of vote, so that one senator does not represent 2.4 million people and another senator is representing 143,000 people. I believe in a country where everybody has got equal opportunity, and that those who come to equity must come to equity with clean hands, that they may not want to perpetuate the very barriers that kept them at the margins. This formula is not about torturing others because of perceived historical injustice. And let me put it very clearly, Mr. Speaker. If the chairman of the cattle dip in your area comes from your village, does that mean all your cows do not have ticks, that they are all healthy? Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want also to give another example. When you share food, do you share food according to the number of people or the size of the dinner plate? I think we share food according to the number of people. We have an ideological underpinning that is fomenting this debate. And this debate is being fomented on the basis of either nationalism or Kantoism. And we must ask ourselves, what is exactly the design of our devolution? Because, Mr. Speaker, when I look at the Bombers draft, it had proposed to have 14 regions and 74 districts. But the current formula divided further to 47 districts. And so therefore, to 47 districts in 1991, which became the counties. And so therefore, Mr. Speaker, it has not been able to resolve the issue of the allure of the presidency. And that is why you heard brother, the Senator Wario, saying that because you've had the presidency, we in Central Kenya would want to tell you here and now that having the presidency is not a panacea to the common problems of Wanjiko, Mwaura, Otieno, and Kaleche. That you still need to have a better Kenya, where equal opportunity is not about a tribe, it's about the population. When you talk about the people of Kiambu, I'm not talking about Kikuyu people. In actual sense, Mr. Speaker, 7 out of 10 people in Kiambu are Kikuyu, yes, Embu Meru, but 3 are not. My neighbor, who died in mysterious circumstances, Cyrus Omondi, was our MCA in Kahawendani. Kalpesh is a MCA, he's an Asian, he's an MCA in Juja. So when we are talking about this formula, I would want us to disabuse the notion that we are giving money to certain tribes. Because even in Turkana, they are Kikuyus. Even in Mombasa, they are Kikuyus. We are talking about one nation on the basis of fairness and equity. But the journey that we have started, Mr. Speaker, we must always remember that no matter how antagonistic we are, this Senate is required to rise above parochial, provincial tendencies because of the nature of politics being local, to come up with a solution that is going to benefit this country. Mr. Speaker, let us just face the truth. If the National Treasury had increased the allocation to about 350 billion, Mr. Speaker, we would not be here. Mr. Speaker, we are here because the governors decided to join hands with their counterparts in the executive, and they refused to stand with us. And the National Assembly was actually used, and my good brother, my senior Senator Mahmoud was there, I was his vice chairman, was used to countermand our demand for more resources that were actually scientific, that were actually rational. And I want to say without fear of doubt that this Senate cannot therefore support the formula of Senator Johnson Ada Sakaja, who was voted overwhelmingly by the people of Nairobi, majority of them who come from Mount Kenya region, to actually come up with an arbitrary figure of 270 billion to freeze the population of this country and therefore deny roads, water, health, electricity to our people who need it most. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude...
Your time is up. Senator Kabaka. What's your point of order, Senator? Yes, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to remind you that you had earlier given directions that in the course of Senator Mwaura's contribution, you'll guide us on at what time Senator Leturi presents his amendment.
Yeah, I'll still guide. I've not forgotten. I just want people to have a feel of what the Sakaja amendment was. Then I will be allowing at an appropriate time the amendment by Senator Linturi. Senator Kabaka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity also to support Senator Sakaja's statement, amended statement. Mr. Speaker, sir, having said that, you are going to rule maybe after I speak or maybe relative thereafter to Lintuli's amendment, which I've seen, and I won't debate until it is formally introduced. I wish to say that I thank Senator Sakaja, and I pray to God that he protects him as a young man for trying to bring sanity to this country since independence. I don't want to repeat what has been said here, but it's very sad that senators who are entitled to their views and opinion want to mislead the country, that there are certain part of this country which is not needed. We want the government of Kenya this afternoon to come out very clear and loudly to the international communities and tell us which part of Kenya is not needed in Kenya, so that those people can exercise their international law, what we call self-determination. I can see Senator Wako very keen on matters of international law, which is an expert therein. Any Kenyan who is oppressed, or any group of Kenyans or tribes who are oppressed, they have the right to secede. This is not trespassers. These are not the old dark days when anybody who would bring a view to that extent of trying to move like Pwani or Kenya would be threatened with arrest. Those days are gone. I mean, senators, I know we have the role.
a global corporate law of visiting our regions. It is the high time that this Senate have a kind of a program where they would visit those bushy, the so-called bushy, sandy, non-productive areas to see the reality on the ground. People have suffered for many years. Mothers, pregnant mothers, and children walking distance to get their daily endowment. I really thank all the senators in this house, especially the lady senators, for having worked so hard, for having gone to school to the level of the leadership they have here. And yet you are competing with a child from Kiambu or Nyeri or those parts which are well endowed with the natural resources. What am I saying? I'm saying I wish it were possible, and this is a question I'm going to put before I rest. I wish it were possible to exchange the population of Kiambu, for example, which gets a lot of money, with the population of Mandera, so that the people, citizens of Kiambu, goes and live for 1 day, not 2 days, in Mandela, where there is no water, there are no infrastructure. In fact, it's a big shame. Some of these counties are overdeveloped. How many times are they going to do roads after roads? Why can't they be Kenyan, patriotic, and bequeath those funds to areas which have no resources of water, infrastructure, and so forth? It is very sad.
What's your point of order, Senator Wamatangi?
Mr. Speaker, I seek your guidance. Is the Senator for Machakos, Senator Kabaka, a renowned lawyer and a very knowledgeable man. And I remember Senator Kabaka the other day, Mr. Speaker, telling this House
Senator Mwaura, please observe
how qualified he is, Mr. Speaker. I remember Senator Kabaka stopped short and he said it on the floor of this House that he could even go and bring his certificates for people in this House to know that he's just not a nobody. He has got a PhD and other qualifications. But Mr. Speaker, is he in order to make the kind of remarks he's made, Mr. Speaker?
What's out of order? Yes, sir. No, he's on a point of order.
I'm on a point of order. Mr. Speaker, Senator Kabaka refers to the people of Kiambu 1 as overdeveloped, as overendowed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
No, he's on a point of order.
On a point of order. And Mr. Speaker, I think it's a high time senators also learn not only to be patient but to be courteous. I'm on a point of order. At any one time, any senator can raise their matter. I'm the senator for Kiambu, elected by the people of Kiambu. I know the realities of the people of Kiambu. And so, Mr. Speaker, I have a right to correct any senator who puts facts wrong, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Senator Wamatangi.
The people of Kiambu are equally
Senator Wamatangi.
Needy like any other.
I want to order, Senator Wamatangi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to repeat. When you come here, tell me what is out of order. You will get an opportunity to put your case. Your opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Let us respect. You may differ with the opinion, but I'll give you an opportunity to disagree on the floor of the House from where you are. So when you come on a point of order, tell me what's out of order. So let's proceed. Are you through? Okay. What's the point of order, Senator?
Mr. Speaker, I just sat down to give you time, Mr. Speaker, because you ordered me.
So what's your point of order?
No, my point of order was very simple, Mr. Speaker, that the senator for Machakos is misleading the House, that he is giving information that he is not privy to, that he does not know about, Mr. Speaker, that he is just making insinuations and innuendos to hype emotions, Mr. Speaker, but not on facts. He must be factual, and when he says that people are overendowed, the least he would do is to prove that they are, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Senator. Senator Wamatangi. Yes, Senator Murkomen, what's your point of order? Oh, okay, let me give Senator Murkomen, then I come to you.
So, Speaker, I don't know if I'm in order to request you
from your chair, Mr. Speaker, to regulate the debate in the House from turning to be a tribal conversation. Mr. Speaker, the rest of the country is watching. We are beginning to talk about our tribes, where our tribes live, what our tribe is getting. And Mr. Speaker, we are contributing to the polarization of the nation. Am I in order, Mr. Speaker, to request you from your chair to give firm and clear directions and stop a senator who may want to direct us to this conversation about Giriamas, Somalis, Kalenjins, Luos, Kikuyus, and all those. And Mr. Speaker, just speak about what is devolution and what it means for our counties, so that then we carry everybody along as a country and we become the sober house we have always argued that we want to be.
Senator Ledama.
Mr. Speaker, mine is to try and assist the House in moving forward. And I rise on point of order number 93, which is on the procedure of a point of order. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to beseech you that whenever any senator rises, for him to note the point of order that he's standing on, as stipulated by Standing Order 93, which, if you allow me, I'll read. Any senator may raise a point of order at any time during the speech of another senator, stating that the senator raises a point of order and that the senator shall be required to indicate the standing order upon which the point of order is based. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, once we follow that, we'll be able to stop all these shenanigans of interruptions, of gagging people from saying what they want to say. And I think we can be able to conclude the debate today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, and that's what I've said. Senator Kabaka, finish.
Thank you. Let me finish. I didn't get, Honorable Speaker, where I was out of order. Other than that, I have a lot of papers, academic papers. I have seen no correlation coefficient to that extent. Mr. Speaker, I want to state my opinion, and it's a fact that Kiambu, anytime, whatever variation or permutations of the formulas which I've seen, all the time it is gaining. And a lot of money. And that's why I'm saying, in my own opinion, I don't have to move the senator for Kiambu, with the due respect, but in my opinion, that county is overdeveloped. It doesn't need all this money, which, they want Kenyans to believe. Mr. Speaker, the issue of equalization fund pursuant to Article 204, which everyone keeps on saying, oh, the losing counties will be given, they will be cushioned by that. Everyone knows that. There is no law which has operationalized this, provision on equalization. This, today it's about, we know the lifespan of the equalization fund is 20 years. But today, since the inception of devolution in 2010, it is 11 years. The government has done nothing.
What's your point of order, Senator Dulo?
Mr. Speaker,
You're off mic. Okay.
Yeah, Senator Cherargei is just walking to the other side and walking back. Is he in order? Can he go back?
He's actually out of order. I didn't see that. If you did that, can you go back and do what you're supposed to do? It is so ordered.
Mr. Speaker, to summarize, I would say that it is not only Kiambu which we are talking per se. I'm saying all those counties which are gaining. And there are many, the 28, at the expense of 18. It's the high time we need to revisit our morals. And we push together this nation. There's no way we can say we have devolution when some of our counties are losing. So let us work out these amendments of Ninturi to see whether actually it is reasonable to the circumstances of other counties, so that we don't mind some counties, losing a little and sharing with other brothers, so that we move. Remember, it is not the intention of the executive in this republic for devolution. The executive all the time want to kill the devolution, for whatever reason. Remember, we are only fighting for 15% of the 3 trillion. Nobody comes here and questions the 85%. What is the criteria of sharing development funds for the 85% in this country? We don't know. This one is left at the discretion of the executive. And that's why the issue of the presidency in this country attracts a lot of attention. But if we can have variables equivalent on development, equivalent to the ones we have here for the devolved formula, then it will be very easy to demystify the presidency. I support Sakanja's amendment. Thank you.
Senator Margaret Kamar, then we'll have Senator Wako from the other chamber.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to also contribute to this. Mr. Speaker, I've been listening very carefully to what my colleagues have said. I've taken time to study and to look at why devolution in the first place. Because it looked like these 7 times of failing to pass, we have opened other issues. And I looked back and looked at the different formulas that have been used, Mr. Speaker. Because I was in the 10th Parliament, and in November 2012, we came up with a formula. In the first formula, Mr. Speaker, we got a report from CRA, which we are all aware of the role of CRA, which according to Article 2015, which is established under Article 2015 of the Constitution, that CRA is to make recommendations to us. The recommendations we received in the 10th Parliament gave us only 6 parameters. Mr. Speaker, we had a population parameter of 45%, an equalization share of 25%, a poverty gap of a poverty index of 20%, land area was 8%, and the fiscal effort was 2%. What happened thereafter, Mr. Speaker? In 2016, the second formula, which was done by the first Senate, actually that Senate did nothing. What they did was to change only the equal share, increase it by 1. So population remained 45%. The equal share increased by 1% to 26%. Also, they reduced poverty by 2, to actually 2 areas they touched. They reduced it from 20 to 18%. In their own wisdom, poverty seemed to have been going down. Land area remained at 8%. Fiscal effort remained at 2%. And they introduced an element called development at 1%. Mr. Speaker, what happened last year, we received from the CRA a recommendation